What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Beaufort to Own podcast. I'm your host, Vaughn. Today we're here with another very special guest, friend of mine, former Battery Creek football player and current Limestone College defensive end, Sayrend Musgrove. Man, what's going on, babe?
Man, nothing much, man. Just glad to be where I'm at now.
Yeah.
I'm doing what I love and the passion with football.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I was surprised when I found out you were going Limestone, not because you're going to Limestone on your talent, but because you were at defensive end. And usually, obviously, because we're not playing 4-11 on 11, when we did our pickup games, you was at receiver. So I thought you was like a receiver, a tight end or something. I didn't know that you played defensive end until I came to one of the games and I saw you out there. So that was crazy to see that. So
Yeah, this last year for my senior year, my coach, when Coach Wilson had came to our school, he had came to my track practice actually. He had looked at me and he was like, "What position you play?" And I said, "Tight end." He was like, "No, we're gonna make you into a defensive end." I was like, "Defensive end?" He was like, "Yeah, so you got the length, you got the height.
right.
We just gotta see it what your speed is and everything." And so at first, as defensive end, I haven't played defensive end in a good minute. So everything was I'm trying to build like all like what I learned. And then later on, I started developing like the habits of being defensive end. And then I started balling after that. But yeah.
And I've been keeping, obviously I've been keeping up with you because I've been you posting your practice highlights and stuff online and stuff like that. And so you they look real good, man. So you might want to put a clip together if you still got them all on your phone or something, and put them out there, man, and let everybody know what your talent is too, so something people can share. You know what I'm saying? Because I do like those. So you know what I'm saying. Every time I see one of those, I'm like, damn, that's a good play. You know what I'm saying? You balling out there. So talk about it, man. Your first year at Limestone, man. How what was the relationship like? The recruiting, everything. How did that work out?
Well, the recruiting, they had recruited me at night at my house actually, and then it was a DB coach who was recruiting for that area, and he told me to come on down to our campus and I'll show you around and everything. So I was like, all right. So a few days after that, I came on campus, talked to the recruiter, and with the receiver thing, I asked, am I gonna be playing like maybe a both side type of thing with playing receiver in defensive end? He was like, "No, we really needed you because you're fast, quick, and you have like receiver type of abilities that you can use on the line as a defensive end."
Right.
And so we had walked around everything, took the photos with the uniforms. But the environment there is pretty good. It's quiet, and really, it's more of like you got to make the most out of it.
Right.
It's kind of like down here. You just make the most out of what you're doing and everything. And then the relationship I have with my teammates and the people there is very good. They saw the same passion that I want to do to get to the next level after that. And so they're helping me with like weight room wise, weight wise, and help me be successful.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So what would you say is the biggest difference from high school to college as far as?
One thing is it's fast tempo.
Right.
So like high school, they have like sometimes they do a huddle offense and you get time to breathe, but in college you'll see more teams doing a no huddle type of offense, like a fast tempo offense.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just got to get ready for that, and everything's fast. Yeah. And then it's more, and then there's also with you got to really use your mind to it, and you got to really know the game a little bit more. Like if there's like a tight end on one side, you got to know what to do if he tries to come on your side, if you got to spill that, or you just let him come on the outside and worry about the tackle. So it's pretty much just a mental thing. But if you can get those two right and just keep focused, it's pretty straightforward and everything.
So that defensive playbook and that studying is a lot more complex than what it is in high school. I feel you. And it's probably because it's a lot less in high school. Most teams don't. It's not too many teams that go hurry up because it is not like any quarterbacks helmet equipment, you know what I'm saying, for helmet audio equipment, to be able to communicate on the sidelines with the people, and plus, signs and stuff. For the most part, everybody at the end of a high school play has to turn and look at the sideline and wait for the coach to call a play or whatever, being able to move on. So let's talk about the start of the season towards the end. So from what I was seeing on your story on Facebook or whatever, originally at the start of the season you weren't on the travel squad or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So did you know that from the beginning, from the get go? Did they tell you that, or did you find out somewhere to the beginning of the season they let you know?
Somewhere to the beginning of the season, I started seeing how everything was going, and then like the first game, it was a travel game, and then they had the list, and they said everybody on this list, you're traveling to our first game, and anybody who's on the list, if you're not on the list, then you're not traveling for this week. So that's when I kind of learned. I was like, all right, I'm not traveling this week. But it didn't stop me, though. I still went hard, kept going, used it as my motivation to go harder in practice to try to earn a spot to get on the travel squad.
Right, and you did later on, right? You did, so then after that, so you used that motivation. So how many games was it before? Because I saw you post that you were on the travel squad in the uniform and stuff like that. So how many?
I think about 5 games. It was at like the second half of the season.
Right.
Because what had happened was some of our players had gotten injured and had some injuries, and then coach saw that I was basically playing practice like if it was a real game and doing every rep with 100%. So he said, all right, you're gonna come with us on the bus, and then we'll see how everything goes when we get there. So I was like, all right. So then we had played a team called Lenore Ryan for their homecoming, and then I remember being next to coach, and I was like, Coach, I'm ready. He was like, you sure? I'm like, yes, I'm ready. So he had talked to me for a little bit, told me everything I need to know before I go on the field. And then when you just step on that field, it's just like a whole different environment. It's like everything just goes quiet, you just focus, and then after that, everything just fell into place.
All right. So what was that experience like? So you come in, you're on the travel squad, you know what I'm saying? Then you finally get bumped up, and you're there. You're in the environment. You know what I'm saying? You got your preparation. You've been working out and everything, and now you're finally in there on the field. Clock's ticking. You, another tackle from another school you don't even know. You know what I'm saying? What was that feeling like for those first couple of plays? Like, how did you feel?
The feeling, it was like a little heart racing, but I kept myself calm and stable. And then when they hike the ball, that's when you just gotta be ready and do everything that you were taught. And for me, it was quick, like real quick. It was like once the snack hike, I already handed off the ball, because the first play was a run play, and then he just handed off the ball, and it was just quick, like that play is over, and then it's on to the next play.
All right, play by play. So going in, what do you feel like? Maybe what did your coaches give you after your first couple of games, and now that the season's at its end? So what advice did your coaches give you possibly after your first game or after the season? After you played a couple games, what was the advice they gave you that you probably could?
They told me like, oh, you just get a little bit bigger, get a little bit of weight up, learn more hand movement. Because in college, defensive end, you gotta learn a lot about your hand movements to get past the tackle.
Right.
And then told me just stay in the playbook, and then if I just do that, I should be good for next season.
What was the difference between? I mean, obviously outside of probably really strength, but what was the major difference you noticed between the tackles you faced in high school and at the college level?
Size. Definitely the size of tackles in college. Much bigger. More aggressive. As high school, you have some players that, like, they're big. You can see like a 6'4", 330-pound lineman in high school, only a few times. But as for like college, you mostly see that almost every game, or even a much bigger size.
Yeah, and did you notice that when you when you were facing these guys, was your pressure a little bit, was it a little, being it was a little bit harder to get there? You know what I'm saying? Did you notice that? How did you feel about that? Because myself, I play off the edge too, so usually when you're used to getting around and then you actually get a caliber offensive lineman or offensive line in front of you, you know what I'm saying? You realize you can't get this, so you still trying to make your make your moves. What do you do as far as I don't want to say off ball because that's basketball, but necessarily when you can't make the tackle. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a big trait that a lot of people don't pay attention to when they can't make the play. Things that you can do to help out.
Things you can do to help out. If you're edge, just keep that edge contained, because that really helps a lot. Because your part plays a big part in someone else on your team. Pursuit. If the ball is away from you, keep pursuing to the ball, because you never know. Because you could be pursuing, the ball carrier could cut back in. You can make the play. So it's pretty much just don't stop until the whistle blows, and just keep playing, basically.
Yeah, and I think people underestimate the caliber of the level of effect you can have when you're not making a play. Because I learned that obviously I learned that watching Aaron Donald. It was this one game. No, it wasn't Aaron Donald. No, it was Mike Daniels, and he was. There was a game where his stats were not high. I think he had like 1 or 2 tackles, didn't have a sack or whatever. And they said he had a great game. So at the stat line, I was like, I only had 2 tackles. It's not really a great game. But they went and broke down the film and saw the way he was wreaking havoc up front, causing the double team. So now one of your other teammates is free, sealing holes, knocking down linemen, so that way his going for the legs, so that way his linebackers got free alleys to run, things like that. So I took that into my game, and that might be something you can another thing you can focus on that make you a really good player, because that's what people don't see a lot of times, because the camera is always on the ball. It's never on the opposite side, or wherever the ball's not. And I think that's something that a lot of coaches look at, and I know you probably heard it before, you see it every time. Hey, you know what I'm saying, the ball's not this way, he's still fighting, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that was that's a cool trick to add to your book. Make sure you got that in there when the ball's not coming your way, what you doing, because they're gonna look at that, you know what I'm saying? So what about school? What are you studying at?
Right now I'm studying my major, strength and conditioning. And school-wise, it's pretty good. A little bit bumpy in the beginning, the first semester, but I got myself, get myself back on track. But it's really mostly with academic-wise. You just can't really procrastinate. You just gotta keep going. Like no matter how hard the assignment is, just keep trying and trying, because you never know. Like if you had to write an essay and you don't think it's good, but it could be good to the professor. So just do that. Make sure you talk to your professors. If you have like a success coach at your school, talk to them, or your advisor. And if you just keep doing that, academic-wise, you should do pretty good.
That's what's up. Procrastination is a big one. If anybody watching and want to know why Javon didn't finish college, that's why. Procrastination was my biggest issue, man. I you know what? Because I turned in, whenever I turned in my work, I got good grades, A's and B's. It was nothing. But my issue was turning the work in, waiting to the last minute, forgetting about an assignment. Because it's college, man. It's like football. Like I said, a lot more fast. And I don't think college is more fast paced. I think college is more so on you. There's no in-class assignments, nothing like that. You literally, for the most part, just coming in there and listening to the teacher for 45, 50 minutes. Or, you know what I'm saying, if you got a 3-hour lecture class, you literally in there for 3 hours just listening to this man talk and take notes. And then you got to go home and do your work. Like, I spent 3 hours in class, man. I don't want to go home and do no work. You know what I'm saying? You feel like you want to do it. But, man, it got to get done. I think that's the hardest part. People who haven't been to college, or when they get to college, that they peep, and when they give you assignments and they ain't due for like 3 weeks, they ain't gonna tell you. to the day of. Like that shit. Like it's like they tell you the day of, and that's it. They be like, all right, your assignment due on the 19th. They don't talk about it. We don't do no in-class work. We don't get a day in class to work on it. None of that. It's just straight up. All right, turn your papers in. And you be like, oh, that was today. Mm-hmm. And so you got to talk to them, and they give you extension. Usually it's midnight or something like that. But that was my issue in college, man. Don't be like me for real. But it's cool though. So what was the session like? Your peoples, you know what I'm saying? How did they feel about you? You know, going to Limestone, and what was that excitement like for them?
They were with me the whole way. Some of them like Eddie and some of our friends. They've been supporting me through the whole ride through high school, trying to get looked at by colleges. So when they saw that when I got the offer and everything, they were happy. And they're like, you wait a long time, and just you all had to do was just be patient with everything. And then we had the signing day, and my teammates all there, my friends there to watch me sign, and it just made me happy to see that I have people who have my back, who are gonna be with me while I continue this journey on into college and hopefully furthermore.
Yeah, and speaking of Eddie, man, y'all group was like one of the few groups I've seen of, you know what I'm saying, any generation, whether it was, you know, before me, during my generation, or, you know what I'm saying, with y'all generation. Y'all was one of the first groups I seen, like, y'all really was, you know what I'm saying, excited about the grind. Y'all was always excited. Anytime we did pickup games, y'all always wanted to be there for the pickup games. Then y'all was, you know what I'm saying, working late night, tossing passes to each other, you know what I'm saying, running routes, running ladder drills in the sand pit. Like y'all was really out there working, and to see it pay off, and to see you at the next level, especially with you dealing with a position change. You know what I'm saying? You went, you know what I'm saying, having to learn it. Not necessarily learn, but get back into that, you know what I'm saying, habit of playing defensive end, man, and to be able to go to the next level with it says a great deal on you as far as your athletic ability. So don't so you take that in pride, and then especially too, you know what I'm saying, you with the position change, man, you got the frame, man, so you take that, man, you bulk up if it helps, you know what I'm saying. How big are you? What's your
right now my weight wise 220.
220? How tall are you?
6'4".
6'4"? You taller than Von Miller, B.
Yeah.
You taller than Von Miller. So if it makes you feel any better, you taller than Von. So if you build on that frame and continue to grind, you know what I'm saying, you can, you know what I'm saying, you can make something out of it, man. Just take it, stride, get big, start making plays. I mean, shoot, Khalil Mack came from, you know, small school. I think he went to like Buffalo or something like that. Yeah. So those are. What do you think? Who do you look after in the NFL? Since we talked about those names, who do you try to take some of your game from?
Number one, Von Miller. I watch his highlights, learn most of my pass rushing. But there's a person that plays for the Jaguars on the defensive end, Unique Ngakwe. Yeah. And he has. It's like me and him kind of share the same thing. He's not really a big defensive end in the league, but he knows how to make the play. And get past the tackle and find a way to get to the quarterback. And when he pursues, he even if the ball's away from him, that's kind of the same thing that I look after or take notes from.
Yeah. How you working on how you feel about your ability to create turnovers?
What I feel about it, I feel pretty good about it. Someone had told me that there's a certain way that to make the turnover, if you're trying if the quarterback has the ball, like where to get your arms around, because he can release it any moment, anytime. You never know when. So you just gotta have certain arm placement when you get around him, or if the running back's coming through, punch the ball certain area, get it loose, or fumbles on the ground, get it in between you or inside of you, and cover it up. But as of right now, turnover wise, feeling pretty confident about it.
Right, and I think you gotta, and that's keep those take those tips. 'Cause I mean, like I said, defensive end, defensive lineman. It ain't too many tackles. It ain't too often a defensive lineman getting more than 5 tackles in a game. Not too often. So if you could take those and take, let's say you have 3 tackles a game, but one of them is a turnover or something like that, or a key play, it definitely helps look good on your resume as well. So who would you say is your top 3 in the league?
Top 3, I'd say Von Miller.
You taking Von over Khalil?
It's just as a defensive end, he's more of like a hybrid. He can play both sides, so he could be a threat. Khalil Mack, he's a threat as well. But like Von Miller, it's just the way how he gets past the ball, because on one of the videos he showed when as being a pass rusher, it's more of you gotta gamble when the ball is about to be hyped.
Right.
And that's how you get the speed through. Khalil Mack, he uses power to get to the tackle. As you can see some of his highlights, he just pancaking tackles to get through.
Yeah, it's disrespectful. like these grown men out here, man, they wives and moms watching, and you just pushing them on the ground, man. It's disrespectful. They gotta deal with you all game.
Mm-hmm. You just be doing it with one hand, just getting through. But I would put Khalil Mack probably number 2, and then number 3, it would be a hard one. I would say maybe I know they have, I think, someone from the Cowboys. I think it's Lawrence.
Mark Lawrence.
Yeah, DeMarcus Lawrence. Yeah. He knows how to play like around the ball, how to get through the tackle, to pursue the quarterback. But it's the top 3. It's a hard choice because there's so many defensive ends in the league that you can like take notes from, and that play a big part for the team. And so yeah.
How do you feel about a player like J.J. Watt? Because he make his bread in the middle, but if you paid attention for this season, he's been playing a lot like at the defensive end position.
Yeah. J.J. Watt. Yeah, he's a lot of power when it comes to playing the game. Good pass rush moves for some of his plays, and then you have him on one side, and you also have like Jadeveon Clowney on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more like you got 2 areas to focus on as a quarterback. And if you try to focus on one side, like you focus on Clowney's side, J.J. Watt will be right there. If you take it for granted, and J.J. Watt, he knows how to play the game. And I was actually looking at how he like eats, what his calorie intake is, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, I saw that. They did a video, and they tried to eat like J.J. Watt for a day, and they couldn't do it, bro.
Yeah, I saw his breakfast. I said that's too much for me.
You get like 2 chicken breasts, a whole bunch of eggs. Like it's ridiculous. That's a big boy meal right there. I don't know. I thought I could eat, but nah, he got me. He got me beat by a mile, easy. You know what I'm saying? But so what's I don't know. What's something that people don't know about Sayrend?
One thing I always ask that I tell people that I'm actually overseas. I was born in Japan, moved to Germany, and then came back to Japan, moved to the United States end of my sophomore year. And that's one thing everybody be like, "Oh, you from Japan?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, you speak Japanese? I'm like, a little bit, not too much.
Right.
And then also with overseas football and sports, it's more kind of the same, but it's kind of different. And some people overseas actually work way hard to try to get looked at.
Right.
Because it's hard to get looked at overseas.
It's very hard.
Yeah, you gotta get like film and everything. Because sometimes college scouts, they're not gonna really fly all the way over to Japan just to see one person. So that's one thing that the people over there really strive and grind to try to get looked at. Another thing about me, I'm trying to think.
You prefer to live here or there?
I like it here. I feel at home. Even though I'm far away from where I was born, I feel like the people here, I had stronger bonds with
Right.
than I did overseas. And then like those people helped me more and more, and they actually got me. People here actually got me into pursuing football, because overseas I didn't really know what I was going to do with football. I was gonna join the military after high school, and then I moved to the United States, went to Beaufort. Eddie and then told me we got to just keep working hard to get ready for the next season.
Right.
And so like weeks came, and then I just started building up a passion for it, and that's kind of got me grinding all the time, trying to be better.
What was Limestone? What was our record this year?
Oh, records. We didn't really win any games. We had some close games, but really no wins for the season. Especially having like new coach coming in, changing our offense and defense. But I feel like next year we'll be pretty good. We have another new head coach who been with the team for a good bit, because our program, it's new sort of. It's maybe about.
Yeah, it's not that old. I think they came out with it like after I graduated or something like that.
Yeah, so it's just it still needs some work, but when we all just play together as a team, you can see like on the field that plays start being made and everything. And next year I really believe that we can get a winning season and really get our names out there as a Division II team.
Who was the guy that made it? Do you know who the wide receiver is that made it to the league?
Vincent.
Vincent?
Yeah, he had left the year before I got to Limestone, but they told me that what he did to really get looked at, he would like I would do, treat practice as a game, do every rep 100%. And then like we'll have like NFL scouts come to the practice, and they were looking at that and saw that he was doing every play good and doing his all every play. And so I really kind of got him good looks with everything.
So how do you feel knowing that, you know what I'm saying, that being at Limestone is a place where you can possibly, you know what I'm saying, being that someone just had that chance with the league, how do you feel knowing that you could possibly take that route?
Feeling comfortable. At first, I wasn't too sure about it, because at first I was like, what if I have to transfer to a bigger school to try to get looked at? But then I talked to my coach. He says, just be patient with everything, and then everything will start rolling into place. And then next thing you know, I saw scouts coming in, looking at players, and then it's more of like you can have stats during games and stuff, but if you really like putting in effort, like the plays away from you, everything, they really look at that. So yeah, with being Division II, you really get good looks as NFL scouts.
Right.
Everything.
And so, in my opinion on that, like you said about might possibly think about transferring to a bigger school. You know what I'm saying? If you need to get a better look, you know, they convince you to stay and stuff like that. My opinion on that is if you start rolling at Limestone, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of a line to toe. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Some people do, some people don't. But if you can, and you actually like what's going on at Limestone and your environment and everything, you know what I'm saying, it's not push you out the door, I would stay. Because if you're good enough, they're going to find you. You know what I'm saying? And two, well, I'm not going to say that because plenty of people go undrafted and become stars. But they'll, you know, a lot of people do that, and the environment is so different. You'll transfer to a school, and they might not use you the same way. You know what I'm saying? Your chemistry with the other players might not be as good. The coach his scheme might not be the same as what you know what I'm saying, you put yourself in. and you know what I'm saying, you're on a bigger stage, and even though you're still a good player, the splash, you know what I'm saying, I would say you were supposed to make, you know what I'm saying, they'll, you know, if it's not as what they thought it was, they'll kind of use that to do you bad. I would focus on, you know, if I were you, but I've never been there, so you know what I'm saying, I can't really tell you what to do. But in my opinion, from just seeing it, you know what I'm saying, I've seen a couple players make that move, and you know what I'm saying, it doesn't seem like it's in their best interest. I would just take in stride. Hey, I'm at Limestone, and you know what I'm saying, I'm playing a high level of ball. You know what I'm saying? Use that if you get invited to a combine or what you do pro days or whatever in a couple of years, man. Just use it.
Just keep going forward with it.
Yeah, man. So what do you see yourself in what do you see yourself in a few years if, let's say, the league isn't an option?
Is an option or isn't an option?
Isn't.
Isn't. I hope to be a fitness trainer.
Mm-hmm.
Help people get in shape with everything like that. Start a program. And try to get a facility. And that was my plan B. For plan C, get back into aviation.
Mm-hmm.
And pursue that passion.
Aviation.
Yeah.
So like military, like as in the military going to aviation, or just like aviation outside going to college and you.
Outside like flying commercial,
Mm-hmm.
Airlines. Cause I used to know most all about it, and I used to be on it with everything with aviation, and I was just so interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then if that doesn't go as well, probably start thinking about military.
Military is always a good option. I thought about it, and then I was like, nah. But it is a good option. It's the most of what you make of it. A lot of people do the whole, you know, they try to do hey, let's do this for 4 years and get out. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's not what the military for. And the military know that. You know what I'm saying? Most people that's in the military for 4 years. I'm not gonna say most people, but a lot of people I know is in the military. They do their 4 years and get out with that mindset. It doesn't really, they don't really get nothing out of it. They just spent 4 years in the military with the job. I would say slightly underpaid, and it doesn't end up what they think it is. You know what I'm saying? But if you do 8 or 12 years in the military, it does end up being a good career for a lot of people. So take that with you when you go to, as far as the military and stuff like that, unless you got what you need. But I want to appreciate you for stopping by, man.
No problem.
Yeah, getting through and talking with me, man, and being able to put you out there, love. You know what I'm saying? Letting people meet. Not let people know what's going on in the community and who out there is doing successful things, man. And I'm proud of you for doing your thing and going to Limestone and chasing your dreams, bro. Appreciate it. All right, y'all, man. It's been another episode of Beaufort's Own. I'm your boy Vaughn. Special guest is Sayrend, man. Y'all have a good one.